Hey guys, in the last video I showed you how to search and choose a target PID frame for non-shiny and shiny Pokemon. Here's my calculated starting frame from last video. Now this calculated starting frame is not necessarily my actual starting frame. What RNG Reporter is telling me is that my actual starting frame will not be lower than this calculated initial starting frame, but it may be higher. I searched for a shiny adamant Sawsbuck with chlorophyll last video, and I chose this seed here. Now I'm going to use the seed to show you how to find your actual starting frame. Here's all the information for the seed in case you want to look back here to see what I'm going for. It's an Adamant Sawsbuck, Encounter Slot 0, Ability 0, these IVs here, and the date is 8/3/11, time is 7:59:7. My key presses are left L, Y. Now the process is the same for shiny and non-shiny Pokemon, so follow along. The first thing to do is to get prepared before you try to find your actual starting frame or RNG. Once you start, you can't resave. If you resave, you'll have to start from the beginning again. Alright, so I have my synchronizer, L-Gem, in my party. And I have my Chatot. You only need one Chatot, but I have two because two makes it go faster. And I have Smogon, who's my Sweet Center. Now your Chatot also needs to have a recording, and to do this, you simply use the move Chatter and record something into the DS mic. Now I already have a recording, so I'm not going to record again. And once you have everything prepared, you can save in the area that you want the RNG, and now you're ready to start finding your actual starting frame. Now one more thing I want to show you are these moving people here. They're called wandering NPCs, and if I go up here, you'll see some more up here. There's a scientist guy, he's moving around too. And basically their goal is to mess you up when you're trying to RNG. But after this video, you should be able to deal with them, so don't worry about it. Alright, so to find my actual starting frame, I'm going to need to hit my seed once. So I'm going to set the date to 8/3/11, August 3rd, 2011, because that's the date RNG Reporter gave me. And time is 7:59:07, but 7 seconds is kind of awkward, so I'm going to set it to 7:58 and just wait a minute. Alright, so now I'm just going to watch the seconds hand on a DS clock. And right now it's 7:58, so I'm waiting for 7:59. And RNG Reporter tells me to hit, gives me 7:59:7, but actually you should start up the game a second earlier than what RNG Reporter tells you. So I'm gonna start up the game at 7:59:06. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm holding my key presses left LY. Hold your key presses until this Game Freak logo here comes on. And now I can let go of my key presses. Alright, so I'm going to say no to this C-Gear prompt here. Now, when you enter the game, there's going to be a message with the season on the screen. Let this message fade by itself, and while the message is fading, you're going to be pressing the X button to bring up the menu as quickly as possible. So I'm going to enter the game now, and I'm pressing the X button to bring up the menu as quickly as possible. And the menu is open now, so I'm going to go to my Pokemon. And if you're using a synchronizer, switch your synchronizer with something else in your party, so it's not the first Pokemon in your party. When you're trying to find your actual starting frame, you don't need your synchronizer to be first in your party. So I'm going to switch my synchronizer with Smogon. Now Sweet Scent. And catch the first Pokemon you encounter. Alright, so I just caught a Swadloon, and this Swadloon is what I'm going to use to find my actual starting frame. Okay, so this Swadloon is Bashful, and it has the ability Chlorophyll, and it's level 23. So I'm going to use that to find my starting frame now. Alright, so I just caught a level 23 Swadloon. It's Bashful, it has Chlorophyll, and it's male. So I'm going to go back to the main window of RNG Reporter. And I'm going to bring up the encounter tables again. Now I'm going to look for Swadloon on Route 6. Okay, so looking at this, I see that Swadloon only appears in one encounter slot. And that encounter slot is slot 5. So I know I'm looking for slot 5. Now I'm going to use the Pokedex IV checker to see which ability Chlorophyll is for Swadloon. So I see Chlorophyll is ability 1. So I'm looking for encounter slot 5, Bashful, ability 1, and male. Now back to the main window of RNG Reporter. I'm going to uncheck the sync nature here because I didn't put my synchronizer first. I put Smogon first instead. Now you can see why I didn't put my synchronizer first. By not having the synchronizer, I don't have to deal with all of those synchronized frames, and it makes it easier to find your starting frame. Alright, so I'm going to scroll down this list of PID frames, starting with my calculated starting frame. I'm going to scroll down until I find a PID frame that matches the Swadloon I caught. So I'm looking for encounter slot 5, which is Swadloon. And frame 65 is the first encounter slot 5 that I find. It's Bashful and it has ability 1, which matches the Swadloon I caught. If I look it up, I'll see that Swadloon is 50% female. So I should be looking for Swadloon's gender under the 50% F column. And as you can see, it's male, which matches the Swadloon that I caught. So this is my starting frame here, frame 65. Notice that RNG Reporter calculated frame 49 as my starting frame, but I found that my actual starting frame is frame 65. Your actual starting frame can be much higher than what RNG Reporter calculates. This is why you need to find it yourself. RNG Reporter cannot account for NPC advancement. This is why you need to find your actual starting frame yourself. Now my target frame is frame 73, which is shiny. To get from frame 65 to frame 73, I'll have to advance 8 frames, and I'll show you how to do this in the next video.